Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the closing bell here at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. With your closing bell report, today's volume, huge. On average on the New York Stock Exchange, usually around 877 million. Today we had over 1.39 billion shares trade on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. The Dow Industrial finished the day up 1.4%. And the S&P 500 was right behind it, up 1.1%, and you had the NASDAQ Composite up about 1.1%. Now, Mr. Trump, in his speech this morning, accepting the presidency, basically said that the country needs to come together. It's been a very divisive, fractious election, and that he's not only going to have to work, and we are all going to have to work towards more inclusive relationships here domestically, but also overseas. The other thing that Trump did talk about was the need, or what he is going to do, which is really ramp up infrastructure spending. It's going to play a large role in his administration. And so that, looking at the industrial sector, which we've talked about today in all the segments that we've done, the sector finished the day up about 2.4%, with defense and machinery leading the way. These are names that we talked about that should show relative strength if Trump did actually win the election. He has. We see that that strength was really shown today with the overall sector up. And what also aided was the statement specifically in his acceptance speech about infrastructure projects and defense spending. So you saw Lockheed Martin and Caterpillar both up 6% and 7.7% respectively, so nice moves there. The offensive sectors that you always want to keep an eye on to see if a trend that has been established will be able to continue are going to be the financials. The financials are up as a group about 4.1%. Healthcare is another one. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny on healthcare. Healthcare is up 3.4%. Those sectors led the pack, while industrials at 2.4% to the upside, and materials at 2.1% also outperforming. What was getting hurt today were rate-sensitive areas like utilities down about 3.7% and real estate down about 2.3%. Those are the largest losses that we saw on the boards today. You could look at the real estate sector. It would an indication, other than the fact that rates are going to move. You looked at the MBA mortgage index that released their application numbers. That fell by 1.2%. That's the second week in a row that we've had a decline. The previous week was down about 1.2% as well. So mortgage applications are on the decline. That's something that we want to keep an eye on, especially as it impacts this space. Managed healthcare names, they really took it on the chin as well. Obviously, with the discussion, Trump said he wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. So looking at Dow components and other large cap healthcare components like United Healthcare, down about 0.7%. We're going to watch these names very closely. They're going to come under pressure. The debate is going to start about what parts of the act are actually going to be removed, repealed, or just outright gone. But the point being is these names are going to start to become more volatile, and you need to pay attention to what's going on, not only in those debates, but the price action. The energy sector, though, gained about 1.5%. Crude oil snapped its most recent losing streak. It was interesting. It did it in the face of an EIA report where we saw that there was a build of about 2.43 million barrels of oil. The consensus coming in was a build of about 1.33 million, so there's a bigger build. But we did see a draw on the gasoline stocks. In other words, looking at RBOB, there was about a 2.84 million draw on the gasoline stocks. So gas prices look to be going up. We're going to see if the refiners start picking up. There was a disruption a couple weeks ago on one of the major pipelines out to the East Coast, so that's impacted supply. Obviously, there's a draw there, but we'll see if that continues. Taking a look at the Treasury markets, finished on the lows. They did have the longer end of the curve really was what really underperformed. The 2-year note finished the day higher by 3 basis points at around 0.9%. The yield on the 10-year note surged basically 22 basis points to 2.08%. It was an incredible move. When you hear this, for those of you that aren't bond traders or never really looked at the relationship of bond yields and prices, when you hear that yields go up, that means that bond prices are going to be dropping. And with the 22 basis point move in the 10-year, there was an enormous drop in bonds. We saw them trading under 160 for the first time in a while. So we're going to watch how that spread on the shorter term, the 2-year, 5-year, starts to increase as far as basis points between the 2-year, 5-year, and the 10-year and the 30-year, the longer end. The longer end, the 30-year took a big hit as well today. So we're going to watch that action real closely. Right now, the Fed funds rate probability tool that the CME has is now pricing in the potential for a rate hike in December of over 80%. Want to keep an eye on some important data tomorrow. Specifically, I want to watch the initial weekly claims that comes out at 8:30 Eastern Time. That's exactly when we are doing the overnight action report. We'll talk about that a little bit in the overnight action report because that is going to be a potential market mover. We're going to see if claims come in at or above 262,000. That's going to be a pivotal number. If it comes in below, that could be a potential positive. If it comes in above, there's going to be some question marks. So with all the major indices in the green today, and basically year to date, you have the Russell 2000, the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ all up, with the Russell 2000 leading. Folks, Trump's in, the market is up. This has thrown a monkey wrench into a lot of investors, traders, institutional trading plans. But I'll tell you right now, you got to just trade it. With this uncertainty, with this reworking of your plans, one thing I can suggest, take a step back, cut down your size, do your homework, rework your watch list, and watch MarketStream.live. We're going to give you that visibility and that transparency. So we'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern Time for overnight action. That will follow up tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern Time for the market, what's hot now in the open. And then we'll have the midday update with Strategy Now. We'll do Tech Talk, and that's at 1:30 Eastern Time. Then we'll do Tech Talk at 3:30 Eastern, and then the closing bell. We'll be right back here tomorrow. So thanks so much for watching. Please get out, spread the word about MarketStream.live. We're new, we're happening, we're giving you all this visibility. Everything that has transpired in the market, we've given you more transparency than any other news network out there. So please start spreading the word. Thanks so much, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care.